What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, reviewing today Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. Kirby has always been one of my favorite Nintendo franchises. Each game has been so wildly different than the last. In 2005, we got the DS title Kirby and the Canvas Curse. Drawing lines created paths for Kirby and led to some really great gaming on the go. Now, 10 years later, we are finally getting to go crazy with our styluses all over again, but this time on the Wii U. This game is entirely controlled with the stylus and the gamepad. Every action in this game, from dashing to shooting your insane tank, is all done with taps and drags of your pen. So what is the cause of this wacky new adventure? Well, someone ripped a huge hole in the sky and sucked all the color away, and now it's Kirby's job to adorably murder everyone until color returns. That means tracing a path through 28 levels of puzzles, punches, and puffy pink vengeance. The game starts out deceptively easy. With the first 4 worlds, they teach you a lot about the game's mechanics and also let you enjoy this cool art style. The claymation look they chose really fits the bizarre theme of defeating colorful monsters on our own rainbow path. Drawing lines across the screen creates these rainbow roads you see me speeding across. Tapping Kirby makes him dash to destroy simple blocks and beat back foes. Every 100 stars you manage to collect gives you ability to perform a super dash that breaks bigger blocks and bursts meaner monsters in the face. While this sounds simple in theory, these controls can be deviously complex, and I really like that because it forces you to keep learning new tactics as the game gets harder, and believe me, it gets harder. Towards the beginning of the game, there's not a ton of things that can kill you. Most of the time, there's not even that many enemies, so it gives you a lot of time to save up lives. But after World 4, you start having tons of baddies trying to hunt you down, and massive pits that will kill you instantly. You get a bizarre thrill on some of the levels as you're flinging yourself through the air and then having to catch Kirby before he falls into a pit, or trying to ricochet off clouds while getting to the next objective. They do a lot of stuff that makes you want to try and figure out the new ability, and maybe even look up a strategy guide to try and find out how to better control Kirby. When normal Kirby just isn't enough for the job, you actually get magically turned into a tank, a rocket, or a submarine, each with very different controls to handle different weird level situations. The tank constantly is propelling itself forward of its own accord, but you have to draw it paths on the screen and tap enemies to shoot your cannon. You can also power up its cannon to blow up even bigger stuff that gets in your way. When you're transformed into the rocket, you're going really fast and you have no way of slowing down at all, but you can steer him with extreme precision as he travels along the rainbow road, so a lot of his puzzles just require you to destroy the right objective or hit the right checkpoints. The third vehicle is definitely my favorite though, the submarine. It's constantly shooting missiles that can only be steered with your rainbow, and the way you actually move is by tapping the screen like a classic point-and-click adventure. This leads to a lot of interesting puzzles where you have to curve your bullets one way while you're steering another, or times when foes are coming behind you, since you can't turn around, you're actually curving bullets behind you to take out the foes following you. Learning all the cool things the magical drawing powers could do was actually very interesting. Along with being able to make paths for Kirby to get around on, they can also block you from hazards. Lava, lasers, and some liquids can be kept at bay for a short time if you put the right line in the right place, and that makes it really fun for a lot of these puzzles where you're trying to just basically avoid getting melted. Each world ends with a pretty straightforward boss fight that usually just requires you to tactically draw your way around and beat the crap out of a certain body part of a boss. Some of the bosses really stumped me and I'd lose to them several times, and that's where I discovered this. If you lose a certain amount of time subsequently, it will let you skip to the next level. I both like and dislike this feature. I kind of like a game that forces me to be better. It forces me to be the best gamer I possibly can, but at the same time when I lose against this squid boss that many times, I was appreciative of the fact that it let me go to the next world and see what else this game had to offer. Also featured in this game is co-op. Instead of just adding in an extra Kirby that wouldn't make any sense, the other players take control of Waddle Dees with spears and help protect Kirby. They can't really traverse on the same paths, so instead they kind of bounce along behind him and help protect him wherever they can. There's a lot of really great stuff about this game, but there are 3 glaring flaws that I have to show you for you to understand. First and foremost, since everything is done on the Wii U gamepad, it kind of gets cumbersome. It's big, it's heavy, it feels a little bit lumpy. It feels like you're trying to hold a book long ways for hours at a time. I've been having to hold it like this, or anything I do to try and get the cramps out of my hand. The other massive flaw of being forced to use strictly the Wii U gamepad is the fact that the battery life on this thing is freaking terrible. It's hard to play for marathon sessions, which I like to do on my days off, if unfortunately this thing's going to be dying on my hands, or I got to be tethered to the wall with the charger cable. The biggest problem of all to me, though, actually is because since I have to play everything on this screen, I don't ever get to fully enjoy the graphics. All of the things you're seeing in this review are captured directly from the Wii U itself. That's not the gameplay I get to see. I am seeing the Wii U gamepad's interpretation of that gameplay. And let me tell you, this stuff does look good, but they look a hell of a lot better on that. In big screen, getting to see all the subtlety of the art style really rocks. Seeing it on a little tiny screen, it's just not the same. Despite the few flaws in this game, it's extremely fun and really addictive, especially tackling the over 40 bonus challenge levels that are unlocked as you go through the game. Let's head on over to the ratings board and put a big number on it. I am giving Kirby and the Rainbow Curse on the Wii U an 8 out of 10. If you have a Wii U, this game is a must buy. Despite the fact that playing on your TV is pretty much impossible, it's a unique gamepad focused game that will really challenge your mind and, well, also challenge your wrists as you hold up that gamepad for hour after hour. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you like this review, feel free to subscribe and share it with your friends, but do me a big huge favor and keep dreaming. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, maybe check out my last video. Please subscribe, and if you want, share this somewhere with your friends. Really fits the bizarre theme of defeating colorful outtake.